Hello there everyone, we're going to be going over the Crimson Court and Colors of Madness. If you are more interested in one over the other, please check out the timestamps. Colors of Madness will be second, obviously Crimson Court first. Let's just get into this, there's a lot to go over. The first trinkets here are just generic trinkets. They can be put on anybody, obviously not class specific, and they all fairly relate to obviously the Crimson Court and the Crimson Curse itself. So we have the Ancestors Vintage, delays Curse Craving. Pretty darn good if you get it right away and you don't have a lot of blood. I won't go into it too much more other than that. So obviously if you're struggling keeping up with blood, the Vintage is pretty good. The Coven Signet Ring, minus 25% stress. Just obviously pretty darn good. That is I think an Arya's head and 5% better than a Book of Sanity. So a great way to just make up for some stress while you obviously have a terrible disease of the Crimson Curse. Dazzling Mirror. Bloodsuckers are obviously a type of enemy. You can hover over them. Most of the enemies in the Crimson Court themselves I think are bloodsuckers. Not all of them, but a good chunk are. The 4 speed, 20% stun skill chance. Realistically, you can maybe do it on a Crusader, a Bounty Hunter, just so you can obviously get the stun skill chance. 4 speed on anyone's really good. Hellion would be a great choice with the Barbaric Yawp. Other one that's less damage oriented could be a Plague Doctor, so that's something to consider. Mantra Fasting, plus 40% HP, plus 7 speed. Now we have to remember this is at wasting, so let's go to the additional notes column. Essentially you're getting a net worth of 20% max HP and 3 speed. It's not bad, but the fact that you'd have to also put this with a rat carcass because you don't want someone to be obviously dying. We'll get to the rat carcass later. It's not bad if you don't have a lot of trinkets to go around. Mercurial Salve, plus 25% against Bloodseeker. It's almost better than the Slayer rings because there's no -8 dodge. So this is something definitely to use when you can remember. Pagan Talisman, 25% damage against Fanatic and just a generic -10% stress. Obviously if you're going Fanatic hunting, throw it on your damage dealer. You're good to go. Not too much more to say other than that. Rat Carcass, immune to Crimson Death. Once again, you can have 2 of these in your inventory, so if you're once again struggling on blood, this is a great way to make sure no one dies. Sanguine Snuff, if you're bloodlusted, which can be a good amount of the time, it's not terrible. I found myself really never using it. I like other trinkets that help me out, and the regular and starving were not wasting, I can't remember, but starving phase. So really, when you obviously bloodlust, it would be great, but you don't stay bloodlusted forever, and there's real no way to always continuously put yourself in bloodlust, so I don't think it's all that great. Definitely a situational item. Sculptor's Tools, 40% damage against stonework. As you can see in the additional notes, there's the Garden Guardian and Gargoyles. It's pretty much made for the Garden Guardian though. Once you get to the end, you're not going to get all the trinket sets from the Crimson Court. So what you really need to do is just continuously farm the Garden Guardian over and over again. This 40% damage just really allows you to shred through it all that much quicker. I blew through those generic trinkets because they're not class specific. They don't really revolutionize the class, so I didn't spend too much time on them. If you have a couple more specific questions about them, please feel free to ask and I will respond to your comment personally if I can. Thank you. So let's get straight into the Abomination here. We have the Shroud and the Shroud and Osmond Chains. So I'm not a huge fan of the Abomination's trinket set, and I'll tell you why. It's conflicting in messages because you're like 20% damage, you're in position 1. You're like, great, that's where I want to be for my transformation Abomination. The plus 10 dodge, the -15% stress, excellent for position 1. And then you get Osmond Chains, you're like, oh, this is really for 2 to 3. So in reality, I guess if you have a shifting party, or if you like doing half support, half transform, it's good for that, but I think it's a little conflicting in messages, and the 20% range skill damage is really just the Manacles and the Beast Bile, which already get reduced, so I don't think Osmond's Chains are very good. On the damage, now the 8% crit, phenomenal. Almost 10% crit will really allow you to get a higher stun chance, obviously, and a higher crit chance for your blights, which add more blight and stress deal. So there is good on that. I just think the 20% damage to range skills, little weird. We're now at the Antiquarium with the Master's Essence and 2 of 3. 50% healing skills still puts it to I think 5 out of 5. 35% blight chance, pretty good. 35 debuff is real nice. 50% damage against blight, 8% crit against blight. Honestly, that is It's not useless, because Nervous Stab could actually be pretty darn good at that point, or you could obviously do a little more with Festering Vapors, I believe it's called. The 4 speed 10 dodge is a great set bonus, absolutely great. More speed and more dodge is always welcomed. So overall, the set's not bad, because I always struggle what to put on the Antiquarium, but her set makes her pretty good, so I won't say that it's not good for her. It doesn't really transform anything she does. She doesn't become a higher damage dealer. Her heal, I guess, can become respectable at 5, a crit for 10. So I guess I'll say that, but overall, it doesn't really transform the character and what she does. It doesn't make her a better it can make her a slight better damage dealer, but I think her support skills are definitely a lot better with that debuff skill chance of 35%. Very good. Childhood Treasure and Bedtime Story belong to the Arbalist. 30% healing skills, 20% healing skills at camp, minus 15% total, 15 accuracy, 8% crit against marked, 35% debuff skill, 35% move skill chance. This is I would argue this is a great set. It really allows her to be pretty much a dual threat. You can either have her be a damage dealer with mark combos or be a very strong supporting debuff and healing. 25% protection. She doesn't have the greatest dodge, so it really allows her to stay alive longer. So I think this is a great set. It's not going to give you a lot of raw initial punch damage. You will need, obviously, that mark combo, but the amount of support skills she gains from this is just crazy, so I highly recommend this set if you like Arbalist. Crime Lord's Molars and Vengeful Kill List. So on the Bounty Hunter here, we're looking at 20% damage if they're either bleeding, stunned, or marked, but we are losing 10 dodge, sadly. And then we get a 50% skill move chance, massive. 35% bleed skill chance. I believe that's only working on Caltrops. I don't think he has another bleed skill, so I don't think it's all that great. Now the 15% accuracy, so really, not percent, just straight accuracy, sorry. So really the move skill and the accuracy is 4 come hither, and then that's obviously going to set you up for a combo, because that will then marked where you get 5% more crit now and then 20% more damage. Overall, I think the set's actually okay. I don't like the minus 10 dodge. I think the plus 5% crits are a little meh. You could obviously put him with a Hellion would be great. She bleeds. A Houndmaster would be great. They bleed. So you could get a lot of just increased crit and damage from bleeding targets, where I think this actually shines. So it's not a bad set. I don't think it's one of the stronger ones out of all the other sets, but it's definitely obviously worth it if you don't have a lot of trinkets and for some reason you pick these two up. We're at my boy the Crusader. We have Glittering Spaulders and Signed Conscription. Now this transforms him from a damage dealing Crusader into a much better support Crusader. 15% protection, 35% move resist, minus 15% stress. Normally I would take an issue to minus 2 speed. The Crusader speed is, I believe, default 3. It's already garbage, so going from 3 to 1, I really don't see much pain to that. 20% max HP, so much HP now for the complete set. And then the 20% stress skills and healing skills, I believe that is as good as the Ancestor's Scroll, but without obviously the stress increase. So this whole set really makes a dominant 3rd to 4th position Crusader. Can actually give decent heals and Inspiring Cry is very good stress heals now. Not as good as a Jester, but it certainly puts them into maybe 2nd or 3rd best stress healer in the game for sure. We're on to the Flagellant. We have the Chipped Tooth and the Shard of Glass. Overall, the 20% max HP, darn good. Move resist, darn good. Death blow resistance. I take issue that this set gives plus 20, well, together the set gives plus 20% death blow resistance. I believe that's more than you can actually have maxed, so I have no idea why they decided the final set bonus should just be another 10% death blow resistance. That seems absolutely silly. I would have loved to see that be more damage against bleeding, more damage if you're below 40% HP, more speed, I mean literally anything than just more generic death blow resistance if you're going to cap it out at 87. If you're going to cap it out at 95, oh yeah, give me the more death blow, but if you're going to keep it at 87, no way. Overall, I don't think it's a very good skill set. The Chipped Tooth, I would prefer over the Shard of Glass, because I don't like the minus 20% bleed resist. I would just put on a bleed amulet and take the minus 20% and blight. Though almost plus 40% bleed, this would allow him to essentially always get bleeds off in the cove, which is a huge deal, so it is things to consider. For the Grave Robber, we have Absinthe and Sharpened Letter Opener. Overall, I don't know if I like Absinthe. because it's minus 10% HP, which is, she already has really low HP, so I don't know if I want to get much lower. I don't really use her blight skill chance, and I would prefer her never to be hit. So really the only good thing on this is the disease resist. The letter opener, 25% melee damage is pretty good, along with the accuracy, and the 5 dodge is always nice. She only has lunge and pick to the face. It kind of allows her to be somewhat a better shield breaker, with pick to the face getting more % damage increase, and obviously lunge would be devastating. But I don't know if I like a trinket to only work on 2 skills, especially if one's already kind of mediocre. And just a 5% crit set finish, it's pretty good. I'll take it, but I wish it was just slightly better for her. We then get to the Hellion. We have Lioness Warpaint and Mark of the Outcast. I feel like they tried to make her a pseudo-flagellant here, and I'm not sad by that, I guess, but I don't like playing people at low HP. However, being at 75% HP or lower for 20% more strength, it might just happen. It is 10% stress increase, it's not the end of the world. 7 accuracy and 7 dodge for the set completion is pretty good. Now the Mark of the Outcast is actually, I think, the better side of this trinket, obviously. 2 speed, you can never deny speed. If it bleeds and bleed out are 2 great abilities, which now just got a significant buff to their bleed chance. Getting 15% death blow resist is pretty good, and for only minus 15% healing, I don't know if I'd be too scared to have this on. So overall, her trinket set's pretty good. Mark of the Outcast certainly works better as a solo item, and you shouldn't feel pressure to put Lion's Warpaint on as a set unless you really value that 7 accuracy and 7 dodge. The Highwayman. Once again, one of the, in my honest opinion, the best character in the game, gets some of the best trinkets in the game as well. Like, what is this? 2 speed, 10 dodge. That's crazy. Like, it doesn't need to be anything else. I don't need more damage on him. The faster you go and the less you get hit, the better. And then 10 accuracy and 5% crit. This is like the riposte dream to have the Shameful Locket and the Bloodied Neckerchief. And 45% Virtue skill chance. 45. I believe that puts them at a natural 70% skill chance if you don't have quirks affecting it higher or lower. So that's just absolutely stupid crazy. I love it. Great skill. Great trinket set. Keep them on. Houndmaster, Evidence of Corruption, and the Battered Lawman's Badge. A lot to read once again, so let's go with this. The Evidence of Corruption alone is enough to just have that trinket almost on all the time. 25% scouting chance, already as good as the Ancestral map, and minus 15% chance for your party to get surprised, exceeds the map. Though I think the map allows you better disarm chance, but that's okay. The Battered Lawman's Badge is where we get really interesting. 15% accuracy, range, and skills, not percent. 15 accuracy, range, skills, really good, absolutely helps there. 50% stress healing, 25% stress healing skills while camping. Actually, that's just 25% healing skills, sorry, so that's going to be on himself, lick wounds. 50% healing skills at camp is really good. I believe Therapy Dog would go from 10 to 15, really good. It's just a bonus to have this on. 15 accuracy is very difficult to come by. You can be wary about the stun and minus 20% stun and debuff. I don't think it's the end of the world because of the set bonus. So the set bonus gives 25% damage against bleeding and 5% crit against bleeding. Very reminiscent of the Bounty Hunter, so that's why I said these two would work very well together. So you can have a massive bleed party and everyone getting bonus damage. So I think the Houndmaster and the Bounty Hunter work very well together, and the Houndmaster's set is very, very good. Jester. Tyrant's Tasting Cup and Tyrant's Fingerbone. Let's look at this. This is probably one of the, honestly, probably one of the weakest sets and individual trinkets in the game. Yeah, 33% stress skills, really good. 25% stress on himself, massive. 3 speed, 20 dodge in position 1. I guess it's good if you like Finale or just continual Dirk Stab. I don't think that's really that good at all. And then 33% stress skills while camping, bleh. I would have loved to see, I don't know, better damage, better generic speed in general, not in position 1. It's hard because the Jester is so unique in some of his stuff, but I feel like they really just messed up. The Tyrant's Tasting Cup's pretty good if you can manage stress well, but overall the Jester has a very weak set and individual trinkets. Leper, Last Will, and Testament, Tin Flute. 15% protection, 15% max HP. That pretty much solves the minus 10 death blow resistance, so I don't even know if that's a factor. If you're getting that much more HP and protection, the odds of him going on death's door at like It's at 70 HP almost at that point. Plus the protection, probably 75, 80 HP. Yeah, he's probably not going down. And then the Tin Flute. Minus 20% stress and plus 33% stress healing skills at camp. Phenomenal items. A Book of Sanity with better skills. And then 15 accuracy if HP is above 60, which it probably will be because the Last Will and Testament. Great set, great individual trinkets, a must-have if you're a leper fan like me. We're on to the Man-at-Arms with Toy Soldier and Old Unit Standard. 15% stun skill chance, always love stun skill chance increases, 20% debuff skill chances. Great for Bellow, absolutely amazing for Bellow. The 10% stress, not a big deal, and the 15% death blow resist. Seems to be a thing they really wanted to increase in the Crimson Court sets. Once again, I'm not usually a huge fan of letting my people get that low, but it's a secondary bonus. If you get there, very good chance to survive then. 10% protection and just 5% crit. Yeah, why not? No stress associated with it, no loss in anything else. More protection, more crit, always good. And then obviously the set is phenomenal. Getting you 10 accuracy and 25% damage on riposte. It will actually allow them to be an okay damage dealer. Musketeer, I'm not going to really go over exactly carbon copy of the Arbalist. This was really their chance to try to divert and make these two characters at all a little different. They didn't. Listen to my Arbalist thoughts if you want to, because they're exactly the same. Occultist, Blood Pact, Vial of Sand. 4 speed if torch is below 60, 25% below 60, minus 25% bleed skill chance. Obviously good on the heal because he actually has no bleed, but it won't bleed you out. Minus 10% max HP, a little concerning because to get the better benefits from this, you would obviously have to be below HP, and that's where crits start coming out, but we'll look up the Vial of Sand. 20% debuff skill chance, good. 20% stun, resist, and skill chance. That's very good for the one ability. And then 20% move skill chance, great for pooling. 15 dodge will certainly give you a lot of dodge. Overall, I think Blood Pact is kind of weak as a trinket. Vial of Sand, if you like the first position, it's not bad, but I think there's other trinkets I'd prefer to have on, but it's not bad. The set bonus is great, it's just I don't know if I'd really want Blood Pact on. So overall, I'm on that. If you have the set, if you like darker dungeons, it's obviously very good for you. Plague Doctor, subject number 40 notes in the dissection kit. So I really like these trinkets for the Plague Doctor. 25% max HP, always granted. Higher disease resist, saves you money and obviously disease chances, which will allow you to avoid derailing. 35% bleed skill chance and 25% damage. This makes her an incredible, just an incredible third position player. If you have I believe it's Incision on, it can actually do a decent amount of damage and the bleed's not bad. Then obviously the combination of the kit, 15% damage of the stun skill chance and 15% blight skill chance. The Blasphemous Vial does very similar things, but it adds 25% stress, so if you only take minus 10% to get more HP and a higher damage and bleed skill chance, absolutely. The Plague Doctor has a great set for a third position Plague Doctor. I'm going to put a black box over the additional notes for now. Please check my comment to avoid potential spoilers for the Shield Breaker. She's a DLC character, there's something special with her. You've been warned, check out my comment. If you don't care, stick around for the next like 5 seconds. Alright, black box is coming off, you've been warned. The Obsidian Dagger is found after defeating the 6th Nightmare, and the Severed Hand is after the 7th. Once again, if you haven't done it, that is story based, I guess I'll call it. I won't say much more. We're here to talk about the trinkets, not the DLC itself. So the Obsidian Dagger and the Severed Hand, let's go over this. 40% debuff skill chance. I believe there's 2 to 3 debuffs on her. It's the pulling forward, breaking the guard, and also her ability to reveal. Those both have debuffs associated with them. I believe it's like speed and dodge, so that's not terrible. The 40% blight skill chance is really good for Adder's Kiss and Impale. The blight resistance and minus 10% stress from the Severed Hand, always great, so she's not going to get blighted, she takes less stress damage. And overall she gets protection and max HP because she definitely lacks max HP. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of her debuff skills, so it kind of kills it the half of the Obsidian Dagger for me. Now the blight skill chance is pretty good. The blight resist I could live without. It's one of those things, I love it as a set, but the Obsidian Dagger is typically something I would want to trade out in my personal preference. So it's not a bad skill set, it just doesn't allow her to really get into high level damage, but it does allow her to be survivable and definitely use her more blight heavy skills to more effectiveness, because Adder's Kiss can do a lot of damage. So I don't want to say she can't, but I tend to put my shield breakers in different directions. But this is definitely a safe, reliable option for damage and obviously survivability as well. Then we get to the Vestal, which I think this Trinkets set is probably one of the best in the Crimson Court, and if I was to do a ranking video, which I won't, this one would probably be near the top in all honesty. 15% damage to melee skills, 8% crit melee skills, minus 13% virtue chance. I really never think virtue chances are negative, because I never get them anyways in my personal experience. It's like 25% chance, but I'll get 5 to 6 negative ones in a row. So I never really do virtue skill chances unless you're building towards them with the Hero's Ring, where obviously as we saw with the Highwayman, you can expect a pretty high virtue chance to come in. Plus 33% stress skills while camping, that's not bad. 25% healing skills just in general is very good. This set makes a very strong second position Vestal. 35% stun skill chance is phenomenal alone. She still works great in the 4th and 3rd position, with obviously a 35% debuff skill chance as well, on top of that Illumination, so you're definitely going to ensure that you get that minus dodge off. Overall, I think some of the trinket sets are definitely great ones, such as the Leper, Vestal, Highwayman, Man-at-Arms, or some right off the top of my head. Other ones I'm not a huge fan of directly are the Occultist and the Bounty Hunter. I think they're okay, and even the Abomination seems kind of odd to me. There's much better Abomination Colors of Madness trinkets, which we'll see in the next episode. Thank you for watching. If you like the channel, please subscribe. There are plenty more guides like this, and also Let's Plays, so if you like Let's Plays more, feel free to check that out on the channel, and if you need more help, I certainly have that as well. Thank you, like and subscribe below.